All right, hello, Bitcoin today. I hope you guys doing right. We have great weather out there, 20 degrees, sunny day. Good time to talk about the Bitcoin, especially on $28,000. That's not bad. We were close to 29,000 last night, so not bad. Before we look into the financial market like we do every day, and especially the Bitcoin, I want to give you a little bit of an update on our new partnership with Radio 1 Mallorca. Most likely it will start this week. I will be live on the radio once a week. I think it's going to be maybe Wednesday. And, we feed them with our content. This is what they are interested in because for their community, they like this financial information and also Bitcoin information. We have a huge community here in Mallorca. It's not only the English one. We have Scandinavian people and we have like Sweden and Norway and Denmark, even French people who can speak English. So, and they have very strong social media like Instagram and Facebook and their website and all these things. So this is something we will keep you updated, how things go there. We will have on our website, once we started, a button which leads to the web radio from them. So this is going to be a very nice thing and we keep you informed. All right. So I think it's about time to start to look into the financial market. 2 years bond, 4%, 10 years bond, 3.5, still inverted, not healthy. This is the reason why we have this huge problem on the banking side. I don't want to talk today anymore so much about this problem with the banks. I mean, I talked a lot about it. Important is to see the Fed watch on the right-hand side because this is the indication how things go on. As you guys know, tomorrow we have a meeting from the Fed and we have to make a decision about the interest rates. And the market anticipates in the moment with 80% that we get an increase of 25 points and 20% of the market anticipates 0. So in any case, it's not 50 points and not 75 points and not 100 points. And this was like a lot of talk 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, stuff like this. We will see what's going to happen tomorrow. Will we have a strong impact on the financial market? This is quite clear. All right. We look first in the overall fear and greed index from the market, from the stock market. As you know, I mean, Bitcoin is part of the total financial market. This is why we always start with the financial market, 36% in the fear region. No wonder when you look into the banking crisis. Important is the market momentum. This is live, and we are close to 4,000 points over the 125 days moving average. So this is a good sign. Another thing is the put-call ratio is going down. The people bet less on short and more on long. That's a good sign. Volatility, important, is going down towards 20%. That's a good sign. So, well, recently, as you know, weekend was very bad. People were crazy. We had the bailout of Credit Suisse and all this stuff, I mean. But in a way, the market calmed a little bit down. And we will later see, I mean, Bitcoin was not really affected from it. But anyway, it's good that the overall market is sort of calming down. Okay, as always, we check now the news. We do this in combination with Cointelegraph. Bitcoin hits 28K as uncertainty surrounds banks. Well, this is something we have to talk about. I mean, 3 months ago, if you have been talking to someone about Bitcoin, I remember the press, the media, the mainstream, they said, oh, Bitcoin is shit and will go down to 0 and no value and all things. And we were down to 15,000. And now we are up to 28. This is like 70% increase within 3 months. That's quite something. Actually, no asset on a global base performed better than Bitcoin. This is quite interesting. Anyway, the real important thing is that that Bitcoin is not affected by the banking crisis. It's just the opposite. We will later see the same with gold. So people go more into Bitcoin, and they trust more into the Bitcoin than in the banks. This is why we have an increase of price. That's quite good. Another thing is Fed central banks enhance swap lines to combat banking crisis. Well, I mean, obviously, they start printing money. I mean, they may said the last 12 months, well, we do quantitative tightening, and now they do quantitative easing, and so whatever it takes. So they print money, and they push a lot of liquidity in the market. What do? How to calm down the market? They give more or less loans and credits to the banks for 4.2, 4.5%. And in order to stabilize the liquidity, this is basically what we do. And it's 300 billion, by the way, in the last couple of days. This is quantitative tightening is something else. This is quite a lot of money. Okay, we check here on a global base. If you're interested, go on our website. You get all this information. The assets on number one, gold, nearly $13 trillion, constantly, always gold on number one. And followed by Apple, Microsoft, Saudi Aramco, Alphabet on 6 is silver. 7 Amazon, 8 Berkshire Hathaway, 9 Nvidia, 10 Tesla, and 11 Bitcoin with 4, 5, 6 billion. Not bad. So we were down to place 37, 38 a couple of weeks ago. Strong increase in terms of global market capitalization. Okay, now it's time to look into the Bitcoin. As we talk, 28,166. We are here on a 4-hourly base. All the candles you see is 4 hours, so each candle is 4 hours. The RSI is 61. MACD underneath is very close to each other. For us, it wouldn't be the time to invest now because Bitcoin went strongly up, really strongly up. And we think at this point it's probably better a little bit to wait and to see how things go on, more or less. All right. Another thing is we have to check now on a 5 years base the gold price. We go back here in 2018. And what we see, strong increase up until 2020. That was Corona. We were over $2,000. Then we had a sort of consolidation. Then the starting of the war, we had again over $2,000. And now, with starting of a banking crisis, we are again close to $2,000. So this is what I just said before. I mean, people go for safe haven now. And it's interesting that they go to gold and Bitcoin. And this is what we always say. For us, Bitcoin is store of value. It's digital gold for us, and great future. Well, and it will be interesting to see in the next couple of months how they manage this banking crisis. But I believe that gold, and the same as with Bitcoin, they will perform very strong. Okay, I know you're waiting for this Bitcoin future. Before I actually start talking about our models, disclaimer, trading with Bitcoin involves a considerable risk of loss, including the risk that the price can go to zero. Please bear this in mind. I mean, you can really make some money with Bitcoin, but you also can lose. It's a risky thing, and we don't give you financial advice. We try to help you to make the right decisions. Go on our websites and check our YouTube channels. There's a lot of information in the market. The more information you have, the less it's possible that you make mistakes. Well, I will not go on all details here on this website. I just concentrate on the highlights. Here, Fear and Greed Index Crypto. Bitcoin, biggest part of it. And this is very nice. In the last couple of days, we were, as you can see, in the region of 50%. And now we're up to 68%. So, and you see it also on the timeline, very much optimism in the market. And you look here back, On my right hand, we were down to 20%, 30%, and in the region of 50%. We had this dip 2 weeks ago. This was starting banking crisis when Silvergate went bankrupt, but now strong increase. So sentiment of the market is good, and this is important when you think about increase of price. All right, now we check the heat map, and a lot of colors, quite mixed. Interesting for us is the Bitcoin. As you know, we concentrate on the Bitcoin. If you're interested in all this, go on our website. This website is getting better every day. Our team in the background is really working a lot to give you more and more information, and we really put emphasis on interactive action, so you really can play around. All right, for us, important year to date, meaning from the 1st of January up until now, it's around about 34% increase. So that's quite good. All right, next thing, dominance. The total market of crypto in the moment is, I think, $1.2, $1.3 trillion. And 48% is Bitcoin. And when you think about it, there are about 25,000 coins out there in the market, and one coin has nearly 50%. This is the reason why we concentrate on Bitcoin. Well, and also Bitcoin is proof of work. We believe in proof of work. Everything else is proof of stake. Well, everyone has to make his own decision. Important here is when you look at my right hand, we not only see an increase in price, we see an increase in the dominance. So people go more in the Bitcoin, in the crypto space. This is a very, very, very good sign. Okay, Bitcoin total long and short interest. This is also something we have to look in. As you know, there's the spot market and the future market. And the future market, in a way, can drive the spot market. And future market is betting on prices with very little money. And here you can see the longs, the green, go down, and the reds consolidate and go slightly up. This has to do with the price. People are a bit worried about the $28,000 or $29,000, so they start to bet more on falling prices. But it's still not extreme. It looks very equal. That's not so bad. So I think we are more spot-driven in the moment. And here we come to the spot market. On-chain data, Bitcoin rich list. You can check this by yourself. Important is the loaded addresses. This is the real spot market, 45 million, more than 45 million. Important is to see that we have a consistent increase. So spot is going up. That's quite good. Bitcoin dominance, well, still the same thing. Less than 0.5% of the addresses has over 300 billion. Out of the 600 billion total, it's 61%. It's an elite market. It's very little addresses having a lot of Bitcoin. This is what we can say. All right, this you can check by yourself. Important is now the Google Trends. And Google Trends is something very interesting when it comes to future, because Google knows from all the region where they have access to the data, what are people looking for? What is the search behavior? And the line you see here is the keyword Bitcoin. And here we see in the last couple of weeks a strong increase. As the price went up, the interest in Bitcoin goes up. That's important. Quite clear. People see an increase of price and they want to know something about Bitcoin. So they go to Google, and Google has a measurement for this. This is a good sign. And another thing, we look into the regions, and here we go back to the first 5. El Salvador, Nigeria, Netherlands, Slovenia, Switzerland on 5. And we check the next 5, which is Austria, Turkey, Germany, Cyprus, and Singapore. We now look to the United States of America, and here they are on place 27. So there's not much interest in the United States in Bitcoin at this point of time. This has to do with all the scandals, the FTX, the Voyager Digital, the Terra Luna, the Three Arrows Capital, the Silvergate, you name it. And now the banking crisis on top of it. So they have other things to do when looking in Bitcoin. Why do I say this? It means that the increase of price is primarily driven in Europe, from Europe. This is quite interesting. But the Americans will come back, and they have to come back. We need them to really get a strong ongoing increase in the price because of their interest in the Bitcoin. All right, here we see Bitcoin on US dollar on a yearly base. Important, between November 22 and January 23, most likely we saw the bottom. Since then, we see in waves an increase up to the 28 region, under the 30 region. Nobody knows if we see a decline. I don't think that we see a bottom like this before. By the way, this is also all interactive. When you go on the website, you can play around. Okay, now we come to our trend models. I know that you are very interested in this. This is always more or less the end of our video. We start with the Bollinger Bands. This is on a daily base, closing at 0 UTC. And you see that we are on the upper side of the Bollinger Bands, and this is not the time for us to invest. Usually we wait that the Bollinger Bands get closer and we become more towards the blue middle line. We see the same with the MACD, which is the orange line, strong increase, really strong increase. Usually a correction will come, and you can see it also on the RSI. The real strength index, you see we are in the region of 70%. This is not the time to buy. A good time to buy is when you are in the 50% region here in this area. Very good time was here in the 30% region. This was when we had the $19,000 2 weeks ago. That was anyway the time when we really increased our investment. Well, we invested all before as well, but here we increased because when the RSI, and we monitor this on a daily basis, and we inform you with our video about this, it's very likely that you make some money. All right, now we come to our short-term indicator, 48 hours. As you know, this is all based on artificial intelligence, which we trained in the last couple of years. And AI says 26,379 on the short term. This is the same thing what these indicators say. We are in an overbought market. Consolidation could come. Okay, now we come to the cycle model. Cycle model says the same. We are overrated with $5,000, which is the yellow box. The best time to invest is when the yellow box is very small, because then everything is according to our mathematical model, which is in this case a model based on cycles. Anyway, the model says in the end $41,000, which is in 1 year's time to the halving. Second model has two base scenarios, a lower one, a higher one. It looks in the moment that the price of Bitcoin, because this is live, goes towards more the higher version. But both will have a sort of consolidation sidewards and end up with $43,000. So our prediction still is in 1 year's time, the Bitcoin will be around $42,000 from coming today, 28,000. If you're interested in a further future, we have this logarithm regression model. As you can see, Bitcoin moves in a logarithm regression. You can really see it's the cycles, the 4-year cycles. They always repeat. A lot of people don't know this. And the same will take place from 24 to 28 as well. And this is why we can more or less predict what's going on. All right, you guys, I hope this was valuable information for you. And, well, a couple of words about our beautiful island, Mallorca. As I just said before, we have 20 degrees. It's getting warmer from day to day. The tourists will come. And what will be new this year, and we started it already last year, we will have a lot of Americans, because United Airlines will have a direct flight on a daily basis from Newark to Palma. And they started this last year. It was only three days a week, and it was very successful. So we will have a lot of Americans coming here, and the expectations for this year is about 12 million tourists. Well, a lot of Germans, European people, but also the Americans. And why do I say this? This is very nice and interesting and nice for us, because we have this cooperation now with the English radio, and when they have the rental cars, they listen to the English radio, and they will listen to us. This is a great thing, and this is also why Radio 1 is interested, because they know they will have a lot of listeners this year, English speaking, and that's something which is quite nice for them and for us as well. So, you guys, I wish you all the best. Make the right decisions. As I said before, check our websites, go on other YouTube channels. The more information you get from other people, the less it's likely that you make any mistake. We will see you tomorrow again. It would be great if you come into the video again tomorrow. I wish you all the best. Thanks and bye-bye.